Got about 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. We are taking care of business, as we always do, here at News Talk 1490 WOSH. We do that with the help of our friends from the Chamber of Commerce, and we have a monthly show. How many years have we been doing this now, Rob?
I think we started this back in '06, so we're going on 15 years.
15 years.
Every fourth Monday for the last 15 years.
Wow. Got a special guest, as we always do. We like to highlight businesses that are here in Oshkosh. I see we're solo tonight. The banking folks are busy today.
I think they're on spring break this week.
Are they?
They deserve a break too, those bankers. Yeah, Mike and Joe. Yeah.
All right, that's fine with me, but we are sponsored by Bank First, no longer Bank First National. Bank First is all we need to say. So,
correct.
New location here in Oshkosh. You find them at 41 and 21. And I know a lot of people are looking for homes right now. In addition to that, maybe a good time to tap into some of that equity you have in your home and do something special, like maybe a new bathroom or doing a man cave or just a huge TV to see more of your bracket be busted up this weekend. Right, Rob?
Well, that's for sure. I mean, I'm out. I mean, AJ and I were just talking off air. It's over for me. Now it's just watching the games.
It was a lot of fun to see the games. Now, I went through I never got this in time. Thank God I didn't. I'd be out $25 today. But I counted up. If things go my way today, I may be lucky to have 10 of the 16 teams that are in the NCAA Tournament Sweet 16. But the problem is, the way the games are going right now, I'm not sure of anybody, including Gonzaga, or for that matter, Iowa, who I really liked, or Michigan, or Alabama. Who are these teams? My goodness. But we're getting an education. All right, we got AJ on board today. We're talking a little about, I hear a lot of good stuff about this place. You want to give the introduction then, Rob, and tell us a little more about what we're talking about today?
Yes, absolutely. We have AJ Armstrong with us this morning. He's with the Venture Project, and they've got this new facility at 210 North Main Street. We had a tour and a ribbon cutting a couple weeks ago. And AJ he's not new to downtown Oshkosh. His wife opened Marissa Spit Boutique on Wagoo Avenue a few years back. And so it's kind of in the neighborhood. But the Venture Project is a new incubator space that they've just recently opened up. And we thought it was a great opportunity to bring AJ on the radio show and talk about this new project and what it means for downtown Oshkosh and entrepreneurship here in town.
AJ, first of all, welcome. I haven't met you before, but I guess we'll have a Zoom introduction. It's nice to see you there.
Yeah, nice to be here.
Let me just ask you about this. This is something we've seen in other communities, usually larger size communities, where they have an incubator. People come together, they gather in, maybe they have a small business or an idea for a business. But why'd you want to bring it to downtown Oshkosh? What was the allure to downtown Oshkosh with this particular type of venture?
Well, there's really an opportunity, I think, in the Oshkosh area. We had a lot of talented, entrepreneurial-minded people coming from the university at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. And a lot of them were entering into these different entrepreneur startup contests as students, and they would win grant money, significant amount. They'd have the Culver's competition, which can be upwards of like $50,000. And they're taking some of this seed cash, and when they would graduate and they'd have these ideas, they would leave. They'd go places like Madison, Milwaukee. And, I sat down with one of the representatives at the university, Dan Brosman, and we're like, hey, what is the deal? Why are these people leaving? And he said, well, it really comes down to resources. They don't have a place to go. So we wanted to say, like, well, we got downtown Oshkosh. It's, an up and coming historic area. It's really cool. And I think there's an appeal to that generation. Let's see if we can have a landing space for them and bring them here. And then we'll help figure out how to make these ideas turn into real businesses and then develop the infrastructure in the area.
All right. So you're there, as you say, as an incubator. We have an idea. We're trying to bring it to fruition. We're trying to make this into a business that eventually makes money, which was always a good thing.
Yep.
So you're kind of a helping hand there. And at the same time, they have others that there are a lot of people with great experience here in Oshkosh. Let me speak up for us senior citizens there, Rob. Us seniors, we had experience. We've done things like this in the past, many of us. So I guess we are somebody they can draw on in addition to the young guys who have all the great ideas.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Trying to broker those relationships with some of the senior professionals in the area, some of the more experienced entrepreneurs or people that are, so far along, they're actually venture capitalists and looking to invest in opportunities in a form of mentorship. So yeah, there's certainly a wide range of talent we can broker to provide the right people for the right ideas.
I'm always amazed. I run into a lot of young people. They work here at the radio station. I run into them. they always have amazing ideas. I mean, it's for me, I say, why don't I think of something like that? But it's amazing. And we've seen people here in Oshkosh, as you just say, through the university, go on and have great starts to great businesses that no one had thought of before, or maybe couldn't get it together enough to put it onto a spot at a shelf or a service to offer people.
Yeah. And a lot of times too, I mean, you have people that have great ideas, but then there's not enough action to back those ideas. They'll talk about them. They don't really have the tools. They don't have the motivation. They don't have, the network that's going to allow them to push them. You know what I mean? In the form of like a coach would in a sport, someone that's going to be like, look, like, step out of your comfort zone. I think it's time. I think you're ready. Here's a strategy. Here's something ready to go. And that's what this incubator is all about. It's like, how do we provide ideas to support your ideas? How do we get you the right resources, the right tools, the right knowledge, the right skills, the right attributes to get going in the right direction, much like a coach would in a sport. And that's really something that I think that opportunity in the market needed to fill. And that's what we're trying to fill here at the Venture Project.
Is this a case like I join a club then? How do I become involved in the venture? Is it like, well, I got some money and I'm going to drop by. I'm Daddy Warbucks and I want to get a good idea and get something going? Or how do we go about getting everybody together? And it may be something to have a lot of people with good ideas. How do you bring people into the equation with cash?
Yeah, well, it's just
venture funds and things like that. I know there's the Angel Fund here locally, the Community Foundation that puts together people who have money. How does that all come together?
Well, so what we bring to the table as far as kind of like, members of the Venture Project are kind of the access to these different resources. So we're constantly networking with people like Rob at the Chamber, with, other networking groups, individuals, venture capitalists in the region that we can kind of have in our pocket. And then when people join our club, it's a membership, where you can have different levels of members and you get different access to resources depending on the tier of membership you bring. When they have an idea and they're ready to take it to the next level, they've been kind of vetted and prepared in a way to be able to approach someone and ask for money, or approach a banker, or approach, a venture capitalist and really have their ducks in a row, because some of the ideas are somewhat outlandish to where they need to be refined and kind of put together. Other ones are ready to go. And you guys know how this works.
And in a lot of cases, you need a business plan. You can't sit down with a banker. If Mike or Joan were here today, they don't want to talk to you unless you got a business plan. And a lot of people have a great idea, but they don't have the business plan. And without a business plan and sales projections and how we're going to market this thing and everything that comes together, they're just another guy with a good idea or a bad idea. I got to break the news to you.
Exactly. Right. And having a business plan, putting it together. And even if you just have an idea and you want to start one, we have access to those resources too. As I mentioned, Dan Brosman also works with SBDC, Small Business Development Center, which is a free resource to entrepreneurs to kind of develop those business plans, put them together so that they could go to someone who's a banker and say, hey, this is what we're looking to do. And if the plan, once you write it down, you'll make sense. You'll see really quickly if this has an opportunity to make money or not.
Yes, it's usually pretty cut and dry, in fact. We got to take a break here in a moment. I want to get back. You said it's a membership. I want to find out about the levels of membership. This is not a gym, by the way. This is you're going to exercise your mind here, not your body. Although I guess you wouldn't be too opposed to somebody jogging down there and taking their time to talk business. Again, it's located downtown Oshkosh. We'll get back with A.J. Armstrong. Rob, if you don't mind, I got to take a break for a few minutes. We'll talk a little bit more about what's happening there. We'll get to some other chamber business as well. Reminder, tomorrow morning during the 8 o'clock hour, we'll have the county executive candidates on the air with us. We'll talk with John Damel along with Mark Harris. That will fill our 8 o'clock hour tomorrow. That will be also in a Zoom format. It'll be recorded, then be available online through the Oshkosh Chamber of Commerce. And in addition to that, we'll have a link here at the radio station's website. Just after 8:30, clouds today, along with a little bit of sunshine. Isolated light showers possible today, 60 the expected high. A little more rain coming in tonight, down to 42, and then scattered rain showers tomorrow with a high near 57. Going to cool down for the weekend, back into the 40s this weekend when we had 60-degree weather yesterday and the day before. Currently cloudy with that 49. Quick time out here. We'll come back. We've got Rob from the Chamber. The bankers are missing this morning. If you know where the bankers are, let me know, okay? And I'm sure they're somewhere enjoying their spring break.
Okay, I just got a new car, and it's
taking care of business. Quick note here, the NFL announcing plans for their 2021 draft. It'll be taking place in Cleveland, and they'll have actually people there. and people there, including draftees. We've got Rob Clayman along with us. We're taking care of business, brought to you by Bank First here at Oshkosh. Brand new location. The drive up is working very, very well for them, they tell me. Rob, you want to reintroduce AJ and we can get back underway again?
Well, of course. Yeah. I mean, we're happy to have AJ with us this morning, AJ Armstrong. Bob, you mentioned earlier, AJ, where he's from. If you were broadcasting high school football back in probably 2008, 9, 10, I hope I have the years right. You were at a Neenah game. You were talking about AJ. AJ was a big high school football player for Neenah, ended up at Army, if I'm not.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Yes. Don't remember your write-off, AJ. You probably had a lot of tackles that day, right? Or did you play only offense?
Yeah, plenty of tackles, yeah.
You played tackle. Okay. So
wish you can still do that sometimes. You get in an argument in the meeting, but that kind of ends after you're done playing football.
Start throwing things around. Yes, yeah. I've never stopped doing that, and that's why I'm in the spot I am today. Is because I usually get myself.
Bob,
in trouble.
I was going to talk. You mentioned the resources in the market and the importance of this venture project. I mean, it's really in Oshkosh. If you think of Oshkosh, we have a lot of great assets when it comes to entrepreneurship and supporting it with university here. Kind of the downtown environment that's been created with coffee houses, which is really kind of a gathering place for bright-minded individuals looking for idea exchange. But these types of projects kind of bring that all together. We have the grind. So I mean, the grind is a co-work space here in Oshkosh, and now we have the venture project. So we're kind of creating that environment and culture to support entrepreneurship. If you think of the support mechanisms that are out there between, SCORE, the Ventures Center at Fox Valley Tech. We have the SBDC at UWO, which is now going to be part of the venture project, which is great. But I mean, if you think of, accounting firms, legal firms, the banks that you mentioned previously, there is this large network of folks that are out there helping people with ideas and entrepreneurs. We probably have 100 folks that come through our door every year that have an idea. But the key is to kind of, marshal them through the channel and get them to the point where their idea can get to market. So, and having a project that AJ's putting together here is really vital to keeping that movement moving forward. So
we should talk exactly what you have there. Now, I envision a big room, but I hear you have everything from meeting rooms and individual work sites to a podcast center that would put our radio station to shame here, right?
That's actually where I'm coming out of. Yeah, this is coming out of the.
I like I like that. I was going to ask you. You have a very nice mic, and you got a lot of stuff on the walls to deaden the sound around you. So, and it's got a great sound to it. So, this is the podcast center you're actually in right now.
Yeah, so we have a podcast studio, and it can record music. YouTube videos. Influencers can take advantage of it. Photography. It's really a configurable space. I think that a big part of being a business owner is to not only just take action, but also tell your story a little bit. And, as podcasting is an interruptive medium right now in the radio broadcast community that's starting to kind of be that way of the people can just buy a USB microphone, plug it into their laptop, interview people over Zoom calls. And all of a sudden, here we are having discussions like this all over the world. And we wanted to create at least an environment where people could start their own, people could tell their stories of all ages and ranges of experience, from audio dramas that are fiction based to interviewing professionals and experts in their fields. And that's something that's really unique about, I think, our space versus other co-working spaces.
I think one of the things, every business has a story. A lot of them are great stories, and there's really no way of sharing that. And having a website and the possibility of doing something maybe with an outside firm or doing it yourself, telling the story of your business. If you've been around for 70, 80 years, and maybe it was your great-great-grandfather who came to Oshkosh, started it, or the Valley started it, and it grew from there. I think those are great things to share, and it's going to pay dividends down the line. I don't think it's to make money, but it solidifies where you are in the community. You're part of the community, and we don't have the availability of doing that by putting together a website that incorporates your history through video and audio, and you're able to tell your story, because all businesses have a story, and maybe that's a different thing than your competitor. You can take that and use that to your advantage. So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great way to network as well. I mean, I want to find someone that might be out of my league as far as someone that wants to sit down and have a coffee with me to be mentored. They don't have time for it, but I say, hey, you can promote your book on my podcast. You can come on. They have now an incentive to kind of jump in and have a discussion with you. And now you have access to pick their brain on any range of topics. So it's been a really unique tool that I was able to use when I started podcasting about 3 years ago to just kind of broker those connections and find people that might not normally have the time to have a discussion, but when there's something in it for them, and then eventually you have that relationship where you've now helped promote their platform and move forward. So it's just really been a cool opportunity to network, promote your business, and allow people to tell their stories. And I wanted to bring that to the community as a really low cost way to get out there and start telling your story.
Yeah, that's how I got Rob 15 years ago to join me here on the radio. I let him promote the Chamber of Commerce, and the rest was history. Taking Care of Business, sponsored by Bank First here on WOSH, 15 plus years now. So we're located downtown. Why particularly? You could be anywhere in the city, you could be anywhere in the valley, but why Oshkosh downtown? Why does that make sense for ventures?
Yeah, I mean, downtown was a non-negotiable location for what we wanted to do. The downtown, and especially in Oshkosh, is a really cool historic area. And if you look at Oshkosh from a map, it's just beautiful the way the topography and the way the landscaping and the way the river system and lake system. It's just a really cool area. Not to mention there's a lot of history here of businesses that have crushed it. Right across the street, we have Oshkosh Bagosh's headquarters. I can see it from my office when I look out the window, and it's just a reminder. In 1895, somebody had an idea to make denim overalls for Union Railroad workers, and now it blew up into a company that ended up getting sold to Carter, and now it's been a massive success and one of the staple pieces in the Oshkosh community. It's just that reminder that there have been businesses that started right here in downtown, and there will be more to come. And let's develop the city structure, the city center at its core, by focusing on how we can support entrepreneurship, which is really the pinnacle piece of capitalism. That's how we build communities. That's how we create jobs. That's how we generate commerce. And you can be either part of the problem or part of the solution. And I wanted to be part of the solution, which is how do we develop these business owners that have great ideas? And let's do it right here at the center, the core, where the community started and where the community is always going to be.
Can you tell me, well, you say you're a membership, so can you give me a rundown of how I get the gold card or the silver card or just get through the door once in a while? How's that all based? What does it cost? How do we get to be a part of the venture and come down, share ideas, maybe do some work down there?
Yeah, there's all sorts of ways you can get involved. The easiest is we have 3 tiers of membership, and the entry level one is called a startup for that reason. We want startup businesses that might not have a ton of money to get going, but they get in the door for $47 a month, access to the facility for 24/7. We have a unique key fob system controlled by an app where people can come and go as they please and work at all hours of the night. Part of entrepreneurship, as many of you guys know, is hustle. It's about how, you might not have the luxury of just punching in 9 to 5 like our banker friends.
Oh, no, they're off today. It's even better today. But you can come and go as you like to go. There 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and they can kind of find some open spaces. We have some different lounging areas. We have a cafe that they're welcome to enjoy. Coffee, some snacks, water as well, and then they also get access to the people that are in the building, the kind of community of resources that we've created. The second tier is you get a reserved desk. You have an opportunity to take your own space. So you get like a cubicle where you can brand it accordingly. That's $197 a month. It's a little bit more permanent. You get also credits to use a certain amount of hours out of the podcast studio, the conference boardroom that we have, the event cafe for events, speaking of whatever you want to promote there or have family get-togethers. I don't know. It's really whatever you want to use it for. You have credits for that. Then that kind of top membership is the professional membership, where you actually get a private office, and you'll get 4 hours of credits to the podcast room, the board room, and the event cafe as well. So people that are interested in podcasting do a lot of creation or advertising through use of these, have meetings a lot. They find a lot of value in having those credits and to the amenities. And once again, they get 24/7 access to the facility, as well as the coffee and all that other good stuff. You don't have to worry about spending your money at Starbucks because we got you covered. And we only roast the good stuff too, by the way, Rob. There we go. So if let's say I have no office currently, and with the pandemic, I've been operating out of home with my startup business. This would give me a certain, what do I want to say? A credibility, let's say, if I can say, let's get together at my adventure downtown, and we could rent the conference room, or we could have a designated workspace. It would be my area. And
rather than doing everything out of my home. It gives a little more credence to what I'm trying to do here. Look a little bit better in the business community by having a permanent address, or at least a place I can go and have a little situation there where I can entertain somebody, or for that matter, make a pitch to somebody.
Yeah, there's lots of benefits to, having your own office space. As a lot of you guys probably know from the pandemic, your productivity levels are significantly worse. Actually, there was a survey came out somewhere north of 50% of individuals feel that they are much more productive in the office environment. So having that office for productivity purposes works well. As you mentioned, the professionalness. It's one thing if you're meeting with people or clients or trying to broker, if you're asking a venture capitalist for funding and you're in your sweatpants in your living room, that's kind of awkward. But if you have an office space where you can meet people, you can, prospect with your clients, et cetera. Or if, maybe you're a young woman, you don't want to invite strangers into your home to have meetings with them, and the coffee shops are all shut down due to the pandemic, and you want to have a place you can come and hang out that has that professional appearance.
Good to hear.
It's just certainly a great opportunity to have that for somebody.
What day is the opening day, or has it already taken place?
Yeah, we had our ribbon cutting with Rob over at the chamber. Great turnout. We brokered one of the AM chamber meetings, and it was phenomenal.
Great
March
event.
10th, we opened, and I thought that was a great turnout. What did you think, Rob?
I thought it was excellent turnout, especially, given the times we're in. And I think people were really excited to be out and see it. And you had the tours and the multiple levels. It was a great morning. And
for $200 a month, I can have myself an office where, if I was looking at commercial real estate, it'd be a little bit more than $200 a month.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you get the resources of the facility, but you also get, the opportunity to interact and network with other like-minded people in that facility. So and a lot of salespeople would be interested in this. And I know I'm interested in this as well.
I'd drink up $200 of coffee and have $200 worth of goodies gone by the 15th. And Aaron may want me to even spend more for my membership. We got to run here in a few minutes. What's that? Coffee's free here at the radio station. That's why I continue working here. Let's talk a little about some other things, Rob. I know we want to touch on. We only have about 4 or 5 minutes left here this morning, but we want to touch on some businesses. I see our friend Steve's hotel is coming up over here on Oshkosh Avenue. I was out over the weekend. My goodness, everybody had dollars in their back pocket thanks to the stimulus, and they were out spending them. It was amazing on Saturday and Sunday. It looked like Christmas time here in town.
Isn't it great? Isn't it great, Bob?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
If you're a
you're right. I mean, it's certainly helping the economy. The goal is for that money to stimulate the economy to spend that money. But Steve, he's got the Marriott Hotel. The 4 floors are up. You can kind of see it taking shape. I think they're putting on the roof right now. But so that'll be open probably late summer, as I understand, late summer to early fall. So you see 103 new rooms coming online, and then Dunkin' Donuts. Everybody's asking about Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins.
Not me. Giving them up.
Give it a month. Okay. All right.
At least until they open. Yes. Okay.
Well, you get coffee down at the Venture Project.
There we go. I swing by for my free cup of coffee, and then I'll head out for a free Dunkin' Donut later on.
You're always welcome to have free coffee.
Thank you. Appreciate that, AJ. But yes. What's the date? What's the date? Because people are going to say, what did Cherky cut off the opening date to Dunkin' Donuts? What is the date for Dunkin' Donuts then?
Yeah, there's no date.
Oh,
late spring. There's no date set yet. They're still working on construction. I think that'll take care of itself in the near future here. So yeah, you've got that. I mean, but the big announcement since we last met, Bob, was Oshkosh Defense winning that contract to build next generation delivery vehicles for the post office, and initially that's a $482 million contract for engineering efforts, et cetera. But that's a multi-billion-dollar long-term deal where they could produce up to about 165,000 of these vehicles over a long period of time. So certainly there's a lot of background work going on at this point yet, negotiations, et cetera. But that's really, really an amazing development for not just Oshkosh, but our whole region and state.
Well, I'm hoping that the folks here in town are making a serious effort about getting after the production portion of that contract, meaning the city, to land those jobs here, because Milwaukee came out a few weeks ago saying, well, we're more than willing to do anything you need to have done here on the north side of Milwaukee to have the postal trucks built here. And sure. I'm hoping that local officials are over there daily, making sure that they stay here with production if they can. It's a lot of postal trucks to build. We can share some of them, but not that many.
Yeah, you can be sure all the local officials, whether it's ourselves, the city, and others that have communicated with Oshkosh with Oshkosh Defense, Oshkosh Corp. But certainly, Milwaukee's just one of many that are certainly contacting them, and that would love.
Yeah, Milwaukee was a little bold in putting it out there in front of everybody that, hey, we want that. We'll give you this, and we'll do that, whatever you need to have done. So, usually that's how it is. The more aggressive you are, the better your chances are to win.
There you go.
You have to get out there and make a splash.
More than yourself, Bob. Who knows that more than yourself?
Exactly. If I don't get up in your face, nothing happens here. We got to talk unemployment here because now I've heard from you. I've heard from a restaurant owner here in town. I've heard from others. Getting people to work right now, very, very challenging. What are we seeing with the unemployment numbers? And are we seeing a little impact from the stimulus money and maybe the forgiving of student loans to where we're not seeing people like we have in the past look for those part-time or summer jobs?
Well, yeah, it's kind of an up and down. It's yin or yang situation. It's great they're getting the stimulus money, but there's maybe a little less incentive to go out and look for that part-time job or that job because you've got some cash in your pocket. And I think, in talking to a couple of our local businesses, it's a really difficult time finding labor right now from a workforce perspective. And unemployment rate, they just came out on Friday. So we got these numbers at 3.8% in the city and 3.7% unemployment in the county. Those are some low numbers. Last year at this time, we were at 2.9%, but there's 1,327 unemployed individuals in January, and that's down from 1,532 in December. You look back to April, there were almost 5,000 unemployed people at the height of the pandemic. So, we pretty much recovered from that and then some. So, that's going to be an ongoing challenge is finding the labor supply to fuel this growth that our companies are experiencing. But, and that you need housing, you need available housing, you need workforce housing. So, it's really kind of an all-encompassing project where we need to collaborate with a lot of community partners to recruit folks to the area. And the goal is to recruit people to Oshkosh. And honestly, a project that AJ has is an important piece of that.
Yeah. I got to wrap it, guys. Waterfest will be back 2021. Not sure of the starting date. Mike's not with us today, but I want to make sure we know that Waterfest will be back. They're negotiating apparently with artists right now to get in here later in the summer. So maybe not the usual start in June, maybe not till July, but eventually, damn it, we're going to rock the Fox.
Well, we'll set some time aside in April for Mike to give us an update on Waterfest and how it's going. Hopefully there'll be more that we can report by then.
Keep that closed lip, buddy. All right, Doobie Brothers back for a return visit, hopefully, and I got 4 or 5 others I'd like to see again. AJ, it was great to see you. We appreciate the time. Rob and I here on Taking Care of Business, sponsored by Bank First. I'll drop by one day, and we'll take a look there at the venture and find out a little bit more about it, okay?
All the coffee for you, Bob.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. We'll run on that. I'll be back later with news updates throughout the day on NewsTalk 1490 WOSH. A quick timeout. We'll come back and put a bow on this thing.